Welcome to the Small Business Show Live. My name is Swire from Garuda Promo. Today we have Shannon Horton from Digital Phases, our digital marketing expert, Mike Castiglione from Sandler Training, and then our guest is Michael Greenfield, Ace of Heart Musical Entertainment. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Swire.
Let's do a quick round of introduction and tell viewers who you guys are. Shannon, let's start with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Swire, for having me on. My name is Shannon from Digital Faces, where we are your premium social media marketing company, handling all your social media marketing needs.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, Mike Castiglione from Sandler Training, and we work with individuals, organizations on how to systematize their sales process. So if you're struggling on prospecting during these times, give us a call.
Michael, can you give us a background and then the question that you have?
Sure. My name is Michael Greenfield. Ace of Hearts Entertainment is my company, and we provide entertainment for weddings, parties, bar mitzvahs, corporate events, anything musical, any kind of entertainment like face painters and stuff like that. Anything from soloists to string quartets, DJs, and I've been doing this since the early 90s when things have completely different at that time. Started off just trying to sell meat, and it kind of blossomed into having trios and quartets and big bands, and just people needed entertainment, so I was the kind of go-to guy. The issue these days, like everybody, is things have completely changed. Not only has it changed since when I started, but it has changed just through COVID. People don't want to have events. You can't have events because of restrictions by the state, by the city, by the state, by the government. So nobody's really putting forth a lot of money to have events. Events have been canceled left and right. I mean, I don't have anything until July, and that this is my bread and butter. Realizing that with my kind of business, whatever you do now is going to bear fruit fairly off into the future. So if I advertise, if I meet clients, they're planning their event for the end of the year or next year. So whatever I do now is going to bear fruit later on. Problem is, I need money now. Like everybody's got to be able to support themselves now.
Right.
You kind of reach that not tipping point, but that balance of, what can I do now to make money, and what can I do, but I still got to do what I have to do in my business to make money in the future.
Awesome. Michael, if you don't mind sharing with us anything particular that you've done over the last couple of weeks that you've tried. I know, obviously, when you're in a profession of bringing people together and you can't do that anymore, but you're 100% right. Anything you do now will pay for in the future. Anything you've been doing over the last couple of weeks, so we don't want to reinvent the wheel of what you're already doing?
Well, as far as my business goes, just working on my website. I'm trying to redo my website, getting that done. I stopped advertising a long time ago because when I first started, there were a couple of magazines that you paid a lot of money for, but it bore a lot of fruit because the buy-in to get in there was so high that not that many people were there. So somebody would go to the magazines and call maybe 4 or 5 people in there, and as long as I presented well and was comparable in price, it was an easy way to advertise. Now there's so many different online venues and so many people are doing it, and if I'm selling myself as a DJ, there's 40 DJs. I'm not the cheapest. I've been doing this a long time. I've got a heck of a lot of experience. I'm not going to lower my prices just to get a job. I want specific jobs, and my clients who come to me are specific to me and like me as a DJ, as a MC, and everything. So, I know this is a different issue, but where to advertise. But right now, it's just I teach guitar. I mean, I do carpentry and cabinet. I have to do that kind of stuff right now to make a living, and that's kind of where a lot of my time is going. But as you know, for any business, you have to put it full throttle to get the business in the future. Now and in the future. So, I need money now. So I think everybody's kind of, what can I do right now to make money? Teaching is the easiest.
Yeah, okay, right there. That's I'm getting feedback.
Yeah. Well, a quick question that I have is, have you reached out to virtual events? Because obviously my business are tied into event. Also, we do promotional product giveaway at events. So I did help a few clients for the virtual event, and I know that a few big nonprofits are having virtual events, which they have music, they have DJs. So have you, in your context here, do you know if they are doing virtual events or all the events is stopped?
No, I have no idea if they're doing a virtual. I should probably do. I never even thought of that as far as, whether a company would have a virtual event with a DJ. I'm in Toastmasters, and I know that for some of their events, I've been the DJ for that, and doing Zoom and sharing on that for no money because that's a nonprofit.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Swire, is a lot of little mini conferences during the morning to afternoon sessions are doing like a mix and mingle in between, where they bring in a DJ, they bring in like mixology, so you can like learn how to make a drink or something like that, where maybe you do like a lesson or something in between, or just have a DJ session in between. So finding those who are doing virtual sessions and seeing where you can help them see in between.
That's great. Where do you advertise for that? I mean, how do you get that? That's a great idea. Where do you get that?
Well, I think obviously you've been in business for a long time. Which I'm sure you have a lot of different contact. And Mike will probably agree that this is the best time to reach out to people. So if you look at the top 20 client who give you the most business for the past 2 years, for example, have you had a chance to reach out to them?
No, it's a great idea to do a virtual DJ package or something. Somebody did recommend something. What I thought was a great idea was to, like for Father's Day, to have a musician, do a Zoom thing with somebody and play for somebody. So I'm kind of reaching out to
like a personalized song that I can give to them for like.
Yeah, like kind of like not Instagram, Musicgram kind of thing.
I think it's brilliant.
And you said something. I know you said you need money now. And something that Mike said, and someone else said really resonated to me. What you do now, for in the quarantine will, they said that in the next half of the year we'll see who's been working during quarantine and who hasn't been working.
Exactly.
So one of the things that, especially in this time, no one's going to reach out to you. You have to be going and grabbing people. And you said you need money now, and you really hammer that home. You've been in business for a long time, and what you have to utilize is, like you said, your database, right? The cold audience is the hardest to attack. And I'll give you a story very quickly. When I was in school and I transferred new schools and I used to sell candy, I didn't know how to get people to buy from me. So I just, for the first week, gave out one free candy to everyone. And then the next week I was real busy. I say that to say that right now in the digital age, people need to taste what you deliver, what you have, what you offer. They want to see it before they pay for it. That's why all these trials are happening, right? Apple Music gave you 3 months for free before you even bought anything. And I say that to say that you need to, one, reach out to everyone in your database and maybe even have, because and let me go back. Just because events are closed doesn't mean people don't need to be entertained. That's why you see a lot of these DJs on Instagram. So just because there's a mandate doesn't mean that the need is not there. And I say that to say that maybe one of the things that you can do is reach out to everyone in your database, say, hey, Friday night I'm having a live virtual DJ party, right? For free for everyone in my database. And what the goal is at the end of that, or in the middle, you can say, hey guys, by the way, I'm giving away a $20 private party Zoom session for everyone. So, click the link below, purchase for $25, and I will give you a personalized Zoom session for your family or for your personalized event, or maybe it's for free, right? Whatever it is. Hey, so your job is to get everyone in your database. How can I get them in one virtual room? And then at that point, what could you sell them that's something small that will then get you in that funnel, right? So maybe, hey, $25 private DJ session, right? Super cheap. Hey, I'll do it for you. Give me the themes, whatever, right? So in that free event on Fridays, I pulled 5, right, $25 sessions, right? That's $125. Then after that, once they do the session, then you can say, hey, by the way, I do free Zoom weddings for $300, right? So out of that $25 thing, I got one $500 package, right? So you have your free, maybe you have a $25 package, $100, right? And so now it just becomes a game of how can I get as many people to my free Friday party, right? That's a Zoom party. And if you need things now, you call everyone now, inviting them personally. Hey, how are you? First of all, how are you? How are things going? Are you okay? Right? Yes. Okay, great. You know what? I want to spice up the atmosphere about this whole COVID thing. Why don't you come to my party on Friday night? Here's the Zoom link. It's for free. And then as you're DJing, right? By the way, guys, just want to take a quick break. If you guys want a personal DJ session, please give me here's a $25 link, and then, half of it or $5 goes to this charity as well, right? Boom. So that's why $20 goes to you. Partner up with that charity, and now you're getting their audience. So, people need entertainment, and all you have to do is figure out what have you been doing all these years, and how do I do that virtually, right? Now with everyone on social media, and I'll end with this. With social media, people right before COVID had a reason to dismiss it, had a reason to say, I don't understand it. If you don't actively learn, and the easiest way to learn this is how do I do what I was doing before virtually, right? Don't worry about the software. So, it does all these things. No, where are you going and what software will help you do that, right? And that'll be the easiest way to transfer what you're doing into social media. And then you can start playing that game once you really transferred that. So, yeah.
Michael, I have a question. Do you normally work with a photographer or videographer for your events?
Yeah, most events have either a video. Yeah, yes, most events have a photographer or videographer.
So throughout the year, you probably have some good ones that you are friends with. That are they willing to give you high quality images and videos for people having a good time at the events?
Yeah, a couple of them I'm asking for it. Yeah, because I need.
Okay. So like with Shannon's idea, those would be perfect. Those are social media friendly. So imagine I don't know if you guys be with the same friends. Like how many baking video have you seen on Facebook now? How many people baking cakes on Facebook? How many people doing workouts that they're posting on Facebook? Like people not even a personal trainer. So I think with your social media, something that you can do there, you don't have to pay anybody because you have those footage already. And then now is a good time to refresh your Facebook posts and then find out where your target audience, again, going back to the top 20 client, who they are. Are they corporate clients? Are they moms that do a lot of bar mitzvah for the kids? When are they turning 13? Are you doing weddings? Who are the event planners that give me the most business? Find out what platform that they're on. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Twitter? Or are they on any other platform? So with the videos that you have, with the pictures that you have, you could show that people are having a good time because of my music. You could have specific target with your audience have. And then I think since you have not reached out to your client, and one thing that we have in our business we have done for an IT company of ours is we send out a care package. So I have them identify the top 20 clients who hire their IT service. We do a specialized package with a handwritten letter, and we ship out to all 20 of the top clients. And then what they did afterwards, when we confirmed from UPS that they have delivered, they call every single one of them. That land them a lot of jobs because obviously they need IT. So this is something that you can also do to keep in touch with your client. Just because they may not have actual event, they are still your good client. So it's always good to check in with people who have spent money with you. Depending on where they are, so they might know. And then you can ask for reviews. You could bump up your Google My Business review. You can bump up your Yelp review. And then when people search for event right now, for a virtual wedding event, it's your company showing up on Google Maps. That's something that you can do it without a cost, but you have to find out who you're targeting, and then go after those target audience.
Well, that's the biggest issue. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Is there a target?
I would reverse. Sorry to cut you off, Mike. Reverse engineer your client. Take your top 5, like you said, 20 clients, and figure out which platforms are they on. Don't focus on, I need to be on TikTok, I need to be this and that. No, where's your client? You really write them out, and if you don't know, ask them, hey, what social media platform do you spend the most time on? Is it Facebook? Right? Facebook is still a power player. It's just not the most popular, right? But I can tell you right now, I get most of my money from Facebook. Not my likes, but my money from Facebook. So, reverse engineer and say, okay, let me look at my clients, the people that are married, maybe, right? Newlyweds, whatever. What platforms are they on? And try the first, top 2 maybe, or the 1. Because once you master one, it'll be easier to master the other one. So don't go on this hype about, I need to be on every single platform.
Yeah, they'll go on all of them.
Yeah, just pick one.
Yeah, exactly. Where's have your customers determine that, not you, right?
And to piggyback on what Shannon's saying is just reach out. Don't send out like a mass email. Pick up the phone and call your top 10 or top 15 next week. I mean, even today, and just say, hey, I'm just checking in, seeing how everything's going. Wanted to see how you're doing. Can I get a little bit of feedback? And ask. This is what I'm. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, so you think calling? Well, I mean, since the business has changed so much, I mean, there's people have not had an events past couple of years. So I'm thinking.
Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that.
Well, I was thinking of sending out a mass email that's personalized to everybody, just to say, hey, what are you guys on?
I think you do phone calls 110%. As Shannon says, he gets most of his dollars from Facebook. Over the last 9 weeks, I've gotten all of my dollars from calls. And those are both cold and warm. So reaching out to people who I've worked with in the past who I didn't work with anymore, those who it just didn't work out, and they went with a different option, or they just didn't go with an option, and those who had no idea who I am, to pick up the phone and reach out. 5-10 minutes and have 2-3 questions that you're ready to ask. But if you're warm, you could ask, hey, I'm looking to repivot. Where would you be located? And then always finish with the question, Michael, do you know of anyone who would be interested in something like this? Because your network will tell you who. They may not at the time, but if you do that 10 times over, you're going to get at least 2 people who then you can then reach out to in a warm, cold environment, and then continue to grow that way. Yes, you can do a push out, but I would do that more as, I'm going to be doing this ukulele training, teaching for 10, 15 minutes Friday afternoon. If you're interested, come check it out.
Yeah.
I would do that more as an engagement as opposed to, hey, everyone, I'm looking for feedback. Be more proactive with the feedback, and then with your inviting of someone to, whether it's a Friday night party or, I like the idea of doing teaching, pick an instrument and do intro. You don't do the whole thing, you do an intro. And then if you want a private lesson, then you can join, or you can then just do intros to different instruments. And if you want to join, you can subscribe for $10 a week or something like that.
Yeah. Offer them something of value at the end. Like, hey, I was thinking about you, and I'm doing this trumpet lesson, and I think you and your child would be really great for this. And like Mike said, at the end, you don't want to ask them for everything. You want to give them something, right? So instead of like, hey, how are you? How are things going? And then at the end of the conversation, I'm so glad you're doing okay. I think you'd be great, if you want to come to this DJ session just to lighten up the mood, or hey, I'm doing this trumpet session, and I'll send you the link if you want to come. I'd love it. So again, you want to come with value, right? And that's why I say maybe on Wednesdays you do a free intro lesson on an instrument, and on Fridays you do a DJ session, right? So now you're targeting both demographics, or at the end of the conversation, you're going to know. They're like, oh my God, my kids are driving me insane. Well, you know what? Sorry about that. I actually have a trumpet session on Wednesdays. Why don't you, I just thought about that when you're talking. Here, I'm going to give you the Zoom link to it. I'm actually going to be doing it. Hope you can join. Or, you know what, we're bored. We haven't had an event in months. Well, you know what, I'm doing a virtual event on Instagram Live or on Facebook Live where I'm just going to be playing some of my favorite sets. Come on, have a drink with me, and hopefully, it can lighten up your day a little bit, right? And like you said, having that one-on-one invitation, so that way you have a schedule. Okay, Wednesdays and Fridays are my events. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, I'm calling for at least 2 hours, right? Boom. Then you start getting into your numbers, right? And this is where Mike comes into play, especially when you have the great script and everything. I'll say, okay, hey, you know what? For every 100 calls, I get 25 people to come into my sessions. For every 25 sessions, I get 5 people to buy from me. You know what I mean? But you're coming with value first. You're not calling and say, hey, do you need anything? You're saying, how are you? How's the kids? And at the end of the conversation, if they need to come to the lesson or they need a party, right? Like it's something that you're just giving them. Here you go. It's just a free video live. I thought about you just in this conversation when I'm talking to you. Like, I think this would be good for you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then, hey, do you know anyone else who wants to come that I can call?
Michael, do you want a script? To reach out? I've got a couple lines that have been working fantastic.
Sure. I was looking at it. So my head is spinning right here. Great ideas. I have to separate the teaching from the gigging, because if I'm going after a high-end client, I'm not going to talk about teaching because that's a completely issue. So, now I got 2 different scenarios that I got to do. I like the idea of, if I'm talking to somebody, a wedding person that I've done, their wedding 20 years ago, whatever, and I'm getting in touch with them again, to say that I also teach. That's kind of cool. What do you guys think is the best platform for doing a live? Like, if I was going to DJ, what's the best platform to do that kind of stuff? Because I know that when I listen to a lot of people in different venues or different online and stuff, a lot of times it cuts in and out. So you don't get that clean sound. Somebody's got to be able to, if I'm going to do a live DJ event.
So I would do 2 things, Michael, you can't see me here, but I actually plug in. So I take myself off of Wi-Fi, and I've been doing that over the last 9 weeks. And I've had pretty much crystal clear reception since. Wi-Fi is just a little, even if you have fantastic Wi-Fi, it might be that chance of.
I tell my kids don't go on YouTube while I'm doing this.
Don't go anywhere.
You can never control their bandwidth, only yours, which is why I like Zoom as a platform, whether you're using it as a webinar. And webinar might be your best platform, because then people can't chime in the middle of you and, hey, what's going on, Michael? And then you're trying to do a riff and they interrupt you. And it's like, come on. Right. So with the webinar type, you can just have people log in and they can listen. So they can't interact with you at all.
They can do chat.
They can do chat, and they can talk through chat and things like that.
Can they see each other, Mike, on the webinar part?
Say that again, Shannon?
Can they see each other when you're doing the webinar version? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's one option. Again, I don't prefer those options in my world, where I prefer more something like this in Zoom, where
everyone can see each other.
And you can still mandatory mute everybody. You could do that in a setting with Zoom. And again, it's pretty inexpensive. You're talking about $20 a month for up to 100 people. And that's, pays for itself 10 times over if you get one client out of it.
Yeah, but I'm already paying for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would probably do Zoom. I like, if it's a party, I like the option where you can see everyone because it looks like a party. And just have everyone on mute and have everyone talk to each other in the chat, like make it a party. And maybe this is what I would do. If you're having the live at 5, go live on Facebook to give people a taste and give a link to the Zoom link. Say, hey guys, this is a little test on what I'm going to be doing. If you want more, the Zoom link's here, and then just start going, right? And then you can even siphon to some people from Facebook to just, hey, let me just go over here. It's kind of like digitally, putting speakers out in the front of your venue so everyone outside can hear what you're doing. And then the Zoom link is when they come in, right? It's like, okay, hey guys, come in, right? You know what I mean? Just start playing, get people's attention on Facebook or Instagram, go live, maybe 10 minutes on each, and say, hey guys, my link in my bio, and then do the real thing on Zoom. But you've already called people to personally invite them. You've already sent out emails, personally invite them. Now you're doing it on Facebook to give people a taste, and then boom, they go on your Zoom link.
And I have one more, because I know we only have 5 more minutes. Another suggestion, Michael, is be a thought leader right now. I know you have other power partners that you use, whether it's a videographer, event coordinator, people like that in your lives. I would set up a 45-minute brainstorming session. You've got 3 people right now who are giving you ideas outside your world. Right. If you have, 5, 7 people, even up to 10 in a Zoom session inside your world, what are they doing? What are things you can piggyback off of each other on? And maybe collaboratively, you can put together an event. Now you multiply out your network. Whereas if you want to host an event, you have people send out flowers to everyone who's invited. You've got it coordinated. You have all these things going on. You've now quadrupled your network who's now promoting it.
And here's what you could tell them. You could say, hey guys, if you want to partner with me at the end of the Zoom thing, I'll email them a special that you're offering. So that way they have an incentive too. So if it's a video, I'll put that in one email with all the discounts and services that they can get. And that way they can have some exposure too. So
yeah, I want to say, like, whatever platform you're most comfortable with, stick with that one. And then go search for virtual events, because what I've seen so far is, corporate conferences are not happening anymore, but then they're happening online. I actually, when you walk into a conference, a lot of times you receive a promotional item. Right now you can't physically. They actually send it to all the participants. So corporate conferencing are still happening. Virtual birthday is a thing. Virtual wine tasting is also a thing. Virtual bar mitzvah I've seen. So those are all happening right now. It's whoever can get to the format. And because, as you know, you have done bar mitzvah. I know parents are really want the kids you can only do it once, right? So they spend a lot of money on it. Give them ways that they could spend. There are people always wanted to have a party, have a gathering. They need music. I've actually seen a symphony orchestra, 50-piece. They play on Zoom. So they actually, their supporter can see them, get with your band. There are still a lot of events happening virtually.
Right.
So this might be just another platform could grow into your revenue. The good thing about you too, you don't have to travel. You could stay at comfort of your studio or your home, and then you could, start making revenue for your business.
Great idea. All of you guys.
Thank you. Anything else? Good stuff.
I don't know. My head is spinning. I'm taking notes and
implement 1 or 2 things, my man. Implement 1 or 2 things. You know what I mean? And have it build on top of itself.
And that's how we like to finish the show. I know we only have a couple minutes left, Michael. So take maybe a second to process what we talked about. What's 1 or 2 things that you can commit to over the next week or so that you'd like to do?
Oh, a little bit of everything. I think calling people up, just making a list, going through my database. I was sending a monthly newsletter, just a thing to everybody, just to say hi and we're still here kind of thing. I have to go back to doing that. I think a lot of people, especially self-employed entrepreneurs, kind of like took this whole thing and like, oh, holy bejeebies, man. I mean, everything just stopped. For all of us, it's like your income just went, bam, stop. So I think a lot of it is just figuring out how to get back on track to this new thing. I think everything's going to open up. I really do. I think people are kind of fed up. You can't stop the economy like this. We're a capitalistic society, and we need to get back to that. And I think everybody says we're social beings also, so we need to get together. Yeah, but all of this stuff, I'm gonna start working on it.
Agree on pick up the phone, and I've been trying, and Mike been encouraging me to try it. Normally, when you call, sometimes you talk to the secretary, gatekeeper, so the boss is not available. Right now, they're not in their normal office, so you'd be surprised to call your top client. They'll pick up on the second ring because they've been stuck at home as long as we do now. So they actually may be dying to talk to you. You never know if you don't call them.
That's right.
And someone told me, you're either going to get better or worse after this. No one's going to be the same, right? So make sure you're better after this.
Well, we're all entrepreneurs. This is how we do it. You look at the time and you see what's going on, and you got to pin it. You got to do that kind of thing.
All right.
Well, think we lost it. No?
There you
Okay.
Oh, I'm here. So thank you, Michael, for coming on. I think, Mike gave you a lot of homework to do.
Yeah. So
And, feel free to check in and, feel free to revisit the video. It'll be on Facebook and YouTube. And
You
any
do what
question,
after
send me the link.
reach out. And then, I'm happy you're here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Mike.
much.
Thank you.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye, everyone.